Hi everyone, my name is Maxime Tardif and I'm the designer of Earth. I'm really happy to present the game to you today. Since it's been 2 years, I've been working really hard on this project to achieve it. When I started working on Earth, I wanted to do a game that was really strategic and fast to play. I really did push myself to the limit of my competences to achieve it, and that's why I'm really happy today to share it to you. Um, so I needed to ask myself a lot of questions regarding to what I think is a good game. And in order to do that, I needed to play a lot of games. I will not go into all the details because I already wrote a designer's diary over on the Board Game Geek, and you can find the link down below. There's also the link to the Excel sheet of the game under the video if you want to take a look at it. So basically, I needed to do a game. I wanted it to be balanced, to have simple and open rules, to have a fast setup and tear down time, to have interesting choices right from the get-go, a game where you're being always involved, that has a lot of small rewards, where you make the focus on positive things and not negative things, that has a quick playtime, a sentiment of accomplishment, a lot of replayability and many roads to victory, an optimization of time, table and card space, a good degree of player interaction, a theme that's related to a subject I love in the real world. So all of those points were really important for me in order to do a good strategic game. I will share my screen to you so that we start on it. I will not go into all the details on all the points because I already wrote a designer diary that you can go read over on Board Game Geek. So if I share my screen with you here, we have the balance of Earth, which was really important for me to have a good game. So all the cards contain a lot of information. As you can see on this one, there's over here the cost in soil, the victory points, the type of the card, the habitats, the title that may have a certain condition, the growth pieces you can have on the card, the plant cubes that can be on the card, the color, the effect. And here you have another card, a Terran card, that are often scoring card. There's the soil cost, the victory point, the habitats, and then the scoring condition as well. So you have basically on every single card, you can find a total of 33 different variables that you can find over here in the document. So basically, what this means, if we take, for example, the Japanese maple that we see here, if I go in my Excel sheet, it's the first card I created of them all, so it's the Japanese maple that started it all. So you can have the different aspect here that you have on the card, and for every variable that you can find on it, I've coded a condition so that it changes automatically when I change the element on the card. So if I take that for all of the card, you can see that it's a pretty big document that contains a lot of things. If you want to go take a look at it, you're more than welcome to do so. And if I take the condition that's 3 soil or less, here, and I go in the scoring card section here on the 3 soil or less, I can see that for all the cards, the ecosystem that score for this condition, it's filled in this line, and here there's a probabilistic calculus that tells me how many points in average per game played this condition will score for the ecosystem cards that score for that. I did the same for the fauna card over here, and the same for all the Terran cards that score for this condition as well. And when you do an addition of these 3 variables, you have the average points generated for this condition on every single game, which you can use later on to fit in the average point value of every card. So this was really important for me in order not to have a card that's too strong or too weak. And it allowed basically to have a game where the average points generated per card is in relation with its cost in soil, so that you have a lot of replayability and it's not always the same strategy that can win. In order to be able to do that, often I needed to use the stats here of all the game that I filled in the document. There are more than 512 of them in total, and I have also the average points generated by each of the different conditions. So this document was really long to do, but it was really helpful and useful for having a great game, I believe. After that, I needed also to balance all the basic actions that you have in the game so that you can win by playing yellow or yellow blue, yellow green, and everything. The most important one being the green one, because you need to play cards to end the game. But all the actions are also balanced, and I've explained it all here. Earth is a game where you have really simple rules. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to explain, and it's pretty easy to explain as well. Basically, the rules are all there. So it's pretty simple and open as well. You can do almost anything you want. The most important thing is to do the thing that is best for you in the end. So everything's good, but some things are better. So you need to spot that out. It's a game that's fast to set up and tear down, pardon me. So it's quick to set up, takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and takes about 5 to 10 minutes to tear down as well, so you can play it often. It's also a game that I really enjoy. You have interesting choices to do right from the get-go. One of the points I really enjoy about Earth is that when you start the game, you have 4 island cards, 4 climate cards, and 4 ecosystem cards. So the game starts with interesting choices before you even start playing. So that's really good. You sit at the table and then you play straight off. You're always involved in the game. There's always little things to do, little things happening. You have rewards, you have things that you can do. It's a game that gives you a lot of small rewards, and I found that interesting because it's better to receive something and do something than doing nothing and having a lot of dead time. It's also a game that makes the focus on positive thing. It's not a take that game. It's not a war game. It's a game where you're gonna have many good choices to do, but you need to find out what's better for you than the opponent. So most of the interaction comes from indirect interaction, since it's a Euro game. It also has a quick play time, so you can play it in like about 45 minutes average. So that's really important for me to bring it out often. There's a good feeling of accomplishment, and with that I mean that a lot of engine builder I've played, at the end of the game you feel like you have the good engine, and then the game ends, so you're not able to use it as you'd like. In Earth, sometimes it's gonna end fast, but sometimes you're gonna be really able to push your engine a lot, which was really important for me. Also, there's a lot of replayability because there are many roads to victory. There are a total of 64 unique ecosystem cards, 46 unique fauna cards, and you only use 3 of those in every single game and 4 of those. So every game is going to be different. That combined with the fact that you have 283 unique Earth cards, which may contain 33 different variables. So every game you're going to play is going to be different. I've played more than 200 games, and I'm still discovering new ways to score and new ways to act regarding of what I have. Optimization of table and card space, that's another really important point for me. I tried to make a game where everything can be used and have a function. Here we see a two-player game example of Quack & Co. So you can see that everywhere on the table there are things, and all of those things may have a function. Also, in many engine builders I've played, they don't tend to use 2D conformational point scoring in the game, so I tried to incorporate that in Earth, so that it gives an additional layer, another dimension to the game, which adds a lot to the replayability and the card and the table space usage. So I explain it all here. The boards also, we've tried to optimize them so that there's things at many places on them, but they're not too much crowded. And I tried to keep a game where you have a good degree of player interaction. Every single turn you need to choose an action, you get the big benefits, the other player get the small one. So you need to find an action where you have more benefit than the other one. So you need to stay aware at who does what if you want to be a good player. And also, if you spot a player that's really good, let's say in red, you're gonna try to play some red cards to benefit from its actions when he's gonna play it. And then at the last but not the least, I wanted to work on a project that's related to a subject I love in the real world that was really important. So that's why I did work on Earth, because nature always did captivate me. So with that, I will not take any more of your time. If you want to learn more about it, you can go read the designer diary or the Excel sheet. And thank you for backing. I hope you will enjoy the game as much as I do. So thanks for listening, and enjoy Earth.